stories whispered, lessons shown on this channel. If I had known.
If I had known. The cost of a shortcut that ruined everything. If I had known that desperation can make you blind to danger, I would have trusted my patience instead of my fear.
Stories whispered, lessons shown on this channel.
We were young women, fresh out of school, full of dreams, but tired of rejection. We had spent years studying, sacrificing sleep, attending lectures, writing exams, and believing that education would open doors for us. We imagined graduation as a beginning of freedom, a celebration of independence, and a step into dignity. But reality did not match our expectations. After school, life became a cycle of applications and rejections. We printed CVs more times than we could count. We walked into offices with confidence, only to walk out with polite smiles that meant nothing. Interviews became routine, but opportunities remained rare. Each passing month added pressure at home. Expectations from family, responsibilities, and silent questions about when we would finally make it. Some of us started to feel like burdens. Others began to lose hope. We would sit together sometimes, talking about our dreams, laughing to hide frustration, but deep inside, there was fear growing quietly. Fear that maybe we were not good enough. Fear that maybe success was only for a few. Fear that maybe all our effort had been in vain. Then came the offer that changed everything. A well-known company announced vacancies. It was not just any company. It was one of those organizations people respected. Getting in there meant status, stability, and relief from financial struggle. Everyone talked about it. It felt like the answer to our prayers. We applied immediately. After initial interviews, we were told something unusual. The final selection would be done personally by the boss. That alone made us nervous, but we tried to ignore the feeling. We told ourselves that big companies had different systems. Then came the invitation. We were called for what they referred to as final discussions. It sounded official, even important. We dressed carefully, rehearsed what to say, and arrived with hope in our hearts. At first, everything seemed normal. The office was clean, professional, and quiet. The receptionist smiled politely. We were received with respect. But behind that calm atmosphere, something felt off, something we could not yet explain. One by one, we were invited into the boss's office. The conversations started normally. Questions about education, experience, ambitions. We answered confidently. But slowly, the tone began to shift. The boss leaned back in his chair, speaking in a way that sounded friendly but carried hidden meaning. "You are all qualified," he said. "But in this company, qualifications alone are not enough." We looked at each other. He continued, "What matters most is understanding how things work here. Loyalty, trust, personal commitment." We were confused, but we stayed silent. Then came the uncomfortable pause. The words that followed were not direct, but they did not need to be. The message was clear enough to make our hearts sink. He implied that securing a position required more than professional ability. It required personal favors that had nothing to do with work. For a moment, no one spoke. The room suddenly felt smaller, heavier. We had walked in expecting opportunity, but we were now facing something entirely different. Something unfair. Something wrong. Some of us immediately felt anger rising. Others felt fear. A few could not even process what was being suggested. We had heard stories before, rumors whispered in corridors about powerful men abusing positions, but we never imagined being in such a situation ourselves. We left that room shaken. Outside, we gathered quietly, trying to understand what had just happened. Some insisted we should report it. Others said we should forget it immediately. But there was another group, tired, pressured, and desperate, who began to question everything. What if this is how things really work? What if refusing means we lose everything again? What if this is the only chance we have? That is where the danger began, not in the office, but in our thoughts. Days passed. Calls came again. This time, the messages were more direct but still carefully disguised. We were told that those who understand the system would be given priority. We were reminded that many people wanted the job, and opportunities would not wait forever. Pressure increased. At home, things were not easier. Families were hopeful. Some had already started making plans based on the possibility that we might finally get jobs. The weight of expectation became unbearable, and slowly, fear began to win over judgment. A few among us made the decision they would later regret deeply. They convinced themselves it was a sacrifice for a better future. They believed the promise that once they complied, everything else would fall into place: employment, stability, dignity restored through success. They thought it was temporary. They thought it was a price. They thought it was survival. But they were wrong. After those private meetings, everything changed. The warmth disappeared. The attention vanished. The promises dissolved like smoke. No contracts were issued. No official feedback came. No job placements followed. Instead, silence took over. Messages were ignored. Calls were blocked. The boss became unreachable, as if the entire process had never existed. And that was when reality hit hardest. The opportunity was never real. It was a trap disguised as hope. What hurt most was not only the loss of a job, but the emotional damage that followed. Some of the girls felt betrayed by themselves for trusting. Others felt ashamed, even though they were the ones who had been manipulated. Anxiety replaced confidence. Fear replaced ambition. We were no longer the same. In group conversations, there was no laughter anymore. Only regretful silence and painful reflection. The bond we once shared as hopeful graduates now carried a weight of sorrow. We had entered that process with dreams, but we came out with lessons we never wanted to learn. It took time to understand what had truly happened. We had been targeted because we were vulnerable, because we were young, because we were desperate. Our situation had been used against us. The promise of employment had been a tool of manipulation, not a real opportunity. And slowly, a painful truth became clear. It was never about our qualifications. It was about exploitation. The hardest part was forgiving ourselves. Many questions haunted us. Why didn't we see it sooner? Why did we not walk away immediately? Why did hope make us ignore warning signs?
Stories whispered, lessons shown on this channel. If I had known.
But over time, something changed. We began to talk about it openly. We began to support each other again. And most importantly, we began to rebuild our understanding of what real opportunity looks like. We realized that not every door that opens is meant to be entered. Some doors are opened only to test your dignity. Some opportunities are designed to destroy you, not build you. And some people in positions of power will use silence, fear, and desperation to control others. Lessons and advice. From everything we went through, these are the truths we carry now. 1. Never trade your dignity for opportunity. If success requires compromising your values, then it is not success. It is loss disguised as gain. 2. Desperation can distort judgment. When you are under pressure, pause and think before making decisions that affect your future. 3. Real opportunities are transparent. Genuine jobs are based on skill, interviews, and clear processes, not secrecy or hidden conditions. 4. Listen to your instincts. If something feels wrong, it usually is. Silence in your heart is often a warning. 5. Report and speak out when possible. Exploitation thrives in silence. Speaking up protects others from falling into the same trap. 6. Patience is not failure. Waiting for the right opportunity is better than rushing into the wrong one. If I had known, I would have chosen patience over pressure, dignity over desperation, and truth over false hope. Because now I understand. A real future is never built on compromise of self-worth. Thank you for choosing If I Had Known YouTube channel, where you get the life-changing stories. Stay tuned and never miss next episode. Ciao.